In the next video tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can use PowerShell to interact remotely with an Office 365 SharePoint Online account that you have. In order for you to be able to connect to your remote Office 365 account, you're going to need to download and install something called the SharePoint Online Management Shell. You can get that from Microsoft's Download Center. Just Bing it. It's going to be one of the first results you get. Just install that. It's going to give you this console here that looks everything like a normal PowerShell console, only it's giving you a couple of additional modules that you wouldn't get otherwise that lets you interact with the various connects for Office 365. The first thing you're going to have to do, so I'm connected to my Office 365 account here, is I'm going to have to go in the admin SharePoint and get the URL of the SharePoint admin center. So I'm just going to go grab everything all the way down to the .com URL. So this is the URL of my SharePoint admin center. Now I'm going back to the SharePoint Online Management Shell. I'm calling the connect SPO service connect, and then I pass it the URL of my SharePoint admin center. Click on that. It's going to prompt me for my credentials for my Office 365 account. Then I connect. Once that's done, I'm going to get access to all the various SharePoint connects, SharePoint Online connects. Most of the connects that you find in Office 365 look very similar to the ones you have in normal on-premises SharePoint, with the exception that you always have an O in between. So for example, for you to get a reference to a site collection, you're going to use the get SPO site commandlet instead of the get SP site commandlet that you would use normally on premises. Now what you want to do is, now that everything is connected, we're going to go and figure out, my bad, so just exactly what options we have. So we're going to go and we're going to call the get commandlet. This is going to return a full list of everything, every commandlet that's available in this session. That gives us a lot of them. What we want to do is get only everything that's specific to Microsoft SharePoint. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go call the get commandlet again, but this time I'm just going to say select module name. Module name is the last column we're seeing here. So this is going to return me a full list of the various modules, snap-ins that are included in my session that offer me some level of connects. And I want to search for the SharePoint one. So there it is, the Microsoft.online.SharePoint PowerShell snap-in. So normally you would, on premises, you would use Microsoft SharePoint PowerShell, and here we have the online namespace that's had in front. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back, do the get command. I'm going to go and do a query selector. So so it's going to be a where $_ for the disk parameter, meaning that the current command. So it's going to loop through all the commands, pass them one at a time, pipe them one at a time to the where clause. I'm going to go module name equals Microsoft.online.SharePoint.PowerShell, and then close curly bracket. And this is just going to return me a list of all the comments that are available that are specific to SharePoint. So you see there are not lots of them. So if I go back here, I'm just going to set that to a variable. So available cmdlets. And I'm going to go available. So this is getting the collection of all of them. And I'm going to go this.count. And there's a total of 30. So we're currently at the beginning of the month of May 2014. So we're on the April 28th, actually is the date today. There are 30 of them available. If you were to look at it 6 months ago, there were 30 of them available. I don't know what Microsoft plans are, but I mean, for sure, we're going to get more of them available. There are plenty of them available for managing Exchange, managing Link and stuff. For SharePoint, we're still lacking a bit of them. If you want to get more flexibility toward how you can use PowerShell to interact with Office 365, you probably want to look into using CSOM. That's going to be another video tutorial we're going to do. So CSOM is the client server object model. and it allows you to reuse some of the .NET libraries that are available that allow you to remotely connect to any SharePoint instance on-premise and on cloud, whatever, using some of the REST APIs and web services. So everything's abstracted through classes and objects. So you can use PowerShell and the CSOM model to interact with Office 365 remote side. So it will offer you more flexibility. For example, in here we don't have anything that's related to new SPO web. So there are no ways for you right now to create sub-webs in Office 365. And remember, this one here is actually, we're connected to my E1 account. And I'm using a public website, so I mean, I shouldn't be allowed to create new subsites. Even through the interface, I'm not. If you're using an intranet, creating an internal site collection, then you have the flexibility and the ability to go and create subsites. But using the CSOM object model, you're always given the choice to go and just create a new web calling some of the REST APIs on the SharePoint server. So hopefully you guys learned a bit on how to manage Office 365 SharePoint Online using PowerShell. And until next time.